Welcome to the 7th installation of What If Civilization Restarted. If you forgot, we focused a lot on Africa in the last episode, and there was a big major war there. We start in Europe, where the Red Alliance has a meeting over their next steps in establishing their dominance over Europe. Krosnia brings up that if they were to attack one of the members of the MPC, then Ottenburg should be their first target. However, Ruthamia presses that attacking Elysia would be a much better move, since they could take control of the Danish Straits. In the end, they decided it would be smartest in the long run to establish a puppet state near the Black Sea. Borisov sends 150 people to Anatolia to found the new country of Maroon, which was immediately admitted into the Red Alliance. After the success of Maroon, the Red Alliance decided to create another country between the Adriatic Sea and Maroon. They named it Slyla. They sent about 100 Avokians and Krosnians, but the nation is overrun by natives who take control of the Red Alliance's claims. Borisov convinces the other nations that they should let the natives run the new country. Slyla gives thanks to Borisov but refuses to join the alliance. The MPC sweeps in and offers Slyla a place in their alliance, which they accept, saying that Borisov won't protect them from the Red Alliance's fury for long. Across the Adriatic Sea, Azuria continued their conquest of the Italian peninsula. Ottenburg claims the Western Alps, having no plans to do anything there, but it's still attempting to create a border with Azuria. Ravakoya quickly puts its claims on all that's left. Amongst the leaders of the Red Alliance, a move to unite the Western Rothic nations grows, with Metoxic and Liopoxic harshly opposing it. Eventually, the Red Alliance pushed that the West Rothic countries should formally unite under one country, and Metoxic and Liopoxic decide to leave the alliance. Saxic, Ioxic, Orxic, and Ravakoya agreed to the plan and combined to create the new nation of the United Rothic Nations. The URN's first action is to seize the remaining coast left of the North Sea. They join Ottenburg and Elysia in a 3-state invasion of Metoxic. The three nations are quick to occupy the land. The URN took East Metoxic, Elysia took the north, and Ottenburg took the south. Out of nowhere, Liopoxic invades the former Ioxic land of the URN, quickly being pushed back to the border but catching the Red Alliance off guard. Weak from the war, the URN fails at pushing Liopoxic's army back further. Krosnia is quick to send troops across the Red Valley, the nickname for the land between the Western Rothic nations and the west of the Red Alliance. Meanwhile, Ruthamia and Borisov prepared a fleet to send troops into the Baltic Sea to begin a siege from the north. Liopoxic calls out the MPC, begging them to join, which they reluctantly refuse. An undercover branch of the Elysia and Ottenburg army is sent to sink Red Alliance troops in the Baltic Sea. The Red Alliance grows suspicious, but wants to avoid war between them and the MPC, so they mostly ignore it, for now. Back in Liopoxic, Krosnia reclaims the former Red Alliance land with ease. Norlandia decides to send troops to defend Liopoxic, pushing Krosnian forces south. Ruthamia, who had been waiting for an excuse to finish their annexation of Norlandia, is quick to declare war on them. Ruthamia's army begins by invading Norlandian Scandinavian claims. Norlandia immediately recalls their troops in Liopoxic and sends them to fight Ruthamia's army, now nearing Lake Pipus. The troops collide at the lake at sunset and fight through the night. By dawn, Ruthamia controlled Lake Pipus and made their way to the Gulf of Riga. They're jumped by a surprise attack from the south, resulting in the Ruthamians fleeing to islands off the coast. In Liopoxic, without Norlandia or their military expertise, the URN and Krosnia had great success in their northern campaign. Many Liopoxians began to fear that they would be killed for defecting from the Red Alliance, leading them to flee to Bornholm Island, Gotland Island, Scandinavia, and most to Elysia. With a dwindling population and support, Liopoxic falls back into the hands of the Red Alliance. To the south, Carnagia's army lands in Maroon. The Red Alliance is confused and tries to re-establish diplomacy, but with no luck. The Carnagians are enraged by the tax Maroon had placed on entering the Black Sea, a formerly open body of water. It didn't help that Carnagia relied on the water to reach their colonies in the southern Black Sea. They felt that they had every right to go freely to their colonies without being taxed. With Delilah in the NPC's hands, a push to send settlers north of the Danube River and take the valley from the Red Alliance begins. The NPC settlers land south of the Carpathians, forming the NPC puppet nation of Euroga. During a trip to the URN, a Ruthenian trader who had just left Krosnia wandered into the young nation. He was seized for entering NPC territory, and the trader's brother managed to escape and spread word of an NPC nation in the Red Valley. The Red Alliance sends word to the NPC, threatening war if they don't remove their claims from the Red Valley. The NPC refuses, seeing it stupid to have land claims that aren't under the jurisdiction of a country. However, the Red Alliance, Norlandia, and the NPC agree to a temporary solution. Liopoxic gains independence from the Red Alliance, but can't join the NPC, and Norlandia gets to reclaim their territory. In return, Sleeland and Yorga must become independent and separate from the NPC. Oldenburg presses that the URN should forfeit from the Red Alliance in an attempt to create a buffer zone, but this completely fails. No longer occupied with the Liopoxic invasion, the Red Alliance focuses all their resources on the now Carnagia-occupied Maroon. Nylaria doesn't take too well to this and comes to their aid, with Sanayu and Sejude joining soon after. The Red Alliance regained control of Maroon, but not for long, as the area quickly became contested after the arrival of the Middle Eastern countries. Meanwhile, in the east, under the influence of the NPC, Prakia declares war on Lavin. The armies meet at the Irtysh River, and with Meloria's aid, Prakia manages to push deep into Lavin. In response, Brysavov claims land connecting them to the North Caspian Sea. Once their claims are established, they quickly build a temporary navy to aid Lavin. With Prakia's army out north, a force of Melorians is left to fend off the Brysov army. The militia is weak against Brysavov, and Prakia's army has to retreat south to defend their homeland. Jandorian, Viorian, and Oddish troops land in Prakia days later to help fend off Brysavov. With the combined forces of Jandor, Oldenburg, Prakia, Fior, and Meloria, Brysavov's army is quickly pushed up north. From there, the armies are unable to push one side further north or south, putting them back to where they were before the war. After many weeks, neither side made any progress, and they agreed to end the war. Brysavov is incredibly embarrassed by their military's weakness and begins a massive plan to triple their armed forces. This started the triple trend amongst the Red Alliance. Sleela hears the words of the triplet trend and alerts Azuria, who begins enlarging their military as well. Oldenburg, Jandor, Elysia, Fior, Norlandia, Meloria, and Nylaria all join the military enlargement trend too. Oldenburg, Azuria, Jandor, Brysavov, Ruthemia, and Krosnia were the frontrunners of the military enlargement trend. The Red Alliance even backs out of the war for Maroon just to direct more spending towards their military, allowing Maroon to be annexed by Carnagia. The URN sends spies to sabotage Oldenburg's military, and in retaliation, the NPC convinces Carnagia to block the Red Alliance's access in and out of the Black Sea. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe.